What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mr. Joe's Baseball Show. So today I've got a little bit different of a video from what I've been putting out lately. We've been watching a lot of gameplay, a lot of NetPlay Classic. However, today we are reacting to the Mario Superstar Baseball official tier list. Now, what I mean by official tier list, this is not a tier list that I cooked up. It's not a tier list I created. This is a community tier list that has been curated by Little Cokes. He's a Discord admin, a Project Rio developer, a Dinger City player, a very decorated man in the Mario baseball community. He got a list of tier lists together from the top 25 players from Season 2 of the NetPlay Ladder for Stars Off. So the top 25 players, that included myself among some other Dinger City guys like Jason and Nick, as well as, the other 22 top players. And we all submitted tier lists, and he has averaged the scores of said tier list right here in front of us for our viewing pleasure, and this is what we have been left with. So, we're going to take a look at the tier list. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. I'm going to say, point out some weird business, see what we're looking at, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. The Mario Superstar Baseball official Superstars Off tier list. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to start right down at the bottom. Paragoomba at 32nd out of 32 in F tier, averaging 29.48. So his average placement was 29.48. I don't think Paragoomba's the worst character in the game, I'm going to be honest. It is what it is. I don't agree, but there's not much else to say. I think Paragoomba deserves to be at least above a few characters. Let's continue, though. Number 31, Baby Luigi. Same thing as I said for Paragoomba. Probably deserves to be above a couple characters, maybe not many. He averaged 29.40, so not much higher than Paragoomba. And then Baby Mario, 29.32, landing himself at 30th. I think Baby Mario and Baby Luigi and Paragoomba should probably move up like a slot or two each. Not a big deal. Monty Mole is a character that I think might be the worst character in the game. Sure, Baldash is kind of nice, but I don't know if he belongs. Above the bottom spot. He landed 29th. Whatever, that's fine. Now in 28th we have Goomba. I think Goomba's pretty bad. Some people used to like Goomba's pitching and stuff like that. That's probably why he kind of lingers not at the bottom of the list. But I think that you can make a decent argument for Goomba being the worst character in this game, and I probably wouldn't argue with you. I think that Goomba is definitely a bottom 3 character, but he made himself up to the bottom 5, so congratulations there. This next placement I don't love. I think Toad can move up 2 spots. I think he's better than Koopa. I think he's better than Peach. Toad is being disrespected. He's got Falcon Pop. He's got swag. He's cute. He's a cute little guy. He's just like, whatever. Toad deserves better. Peach, however, I think is perfectly placed here. 25.8 being her average placement puts her right at 26. I think this is fine for Peach. She's not a good character. There's a lot of characters better than her. I think she's better than pretty much every character below her here except for Toad. And I do actually think Koopa is better than him than her. That's why Koopa ends up at 25. Koopa's got Falcon Pop, which is cool. So, he's not an unplayable character, but he's definitely not a good character by any means. So, that's why we're seeing Koopa a little bit above that bottom of the barrel spot. Because, again, Falcon Pop being, such a reliable star hit has allowed Koopa to kind of surge a little bit from what he probably would be in that, bottom 3 slot otherwise. Now we kind of move into the viable characters territory. I think that this placement of Daisy is not bad by any means. I think that Daisy does belong around the 24 spot. Do I think she's better than Toadette? No. But I think that characters like Shy Guy and Bowser Jr., while I think they're solid, I think these characters, honestly, this entire C tier, they kind of fall into this this fringe section where it's you're not really throwing if you're picking these characters, but they're definitely not your best choice. So Daisy, I would never want to pick Daisy as my pitcher or my second baseman or anything, but she's got a decent singles bat, so I like this placement of Daisy. Now Toadette, I personally think Toadette's better than Bowser Jr. and better than Shy Guy. Maybe even better than Bones. Toadette has, top tier fielding. She is the second best fielder in the entire game, in my opinion. And you know what? She doesn't have a great bat, but she has a bat that can kind of get stuff done. So I do think she kind of belongs a little bit higher in this list. I would put her as high as 20, honestly. But I don't hate this placement. Honestly, it seems like players in the community have really come around on Toadette and kind of realized that she's a solid character. She's a character that is playable, but not, she's not incredible, but she's definitely not a bottom tier character. So the fact that she's landed at 23 has kind of shown that everyone in the community has come around a little bit on Toadette. Now, Shy Guy is a character that we have all been a little bit up on, and then we were back down on Shy Guy, and he's kind of landed in a good spot. I think everyone's pretty much in agreement here. You see the 22.48 average rating, landing him in the 22nd spot. He's got Falcon Pop, he's got Chem with Birdo, which is really nice, so I really like this placement. I think that everyone kind of placed him in a good spot here. Next up is Bones. I think Bones is a little bit more of a, he's a kind of volatile character where some people really like Bones, and they're like, yeah, Bones is a really, really great character, and some people are like, this character is absolute doggy doo-doo. So it's interesting seeing where he landed here. This is personally, I think this is exactly where I would have Bones on my own list, 21, maybe 22. He's still, you know, he's got the line drive star hit, and everybody in the community has kind of been up on line drive lately, so that's most likely why we're seeing Bones get this kind of resurgence. Resurgence, I say, as he's 21st on the list, but he's still fringe pickable. You know, he's a semi-playable character. He's not a bad choice, and I like the spot for him. Now, Bowser Jr., if you're active in the Discord community, you'll see why Bowser Jr. is in this spot, and I can definitely imagine a lot of these top 25 players are kind of liking Bowser Jr. a bit. He's got wall jump, which is nice, and he's got a decent singles bat, which is cool, but people really like him because you get that Magic Koopa, that Bowser, that Bro Chem, maybe hit some Bowser Jr. homers, you set up some Bro homers if you have Bowser Jr. like in your 9 spot, something like that. So I don't hate Bowser Jr. here. Personally, I have him a little lower, but I do like this community placement for him. And now, moving on to the B- tier. This is where the characters have become playable. This is like, these are the characters you're seeing every day. You know, you see 18 characters on the field, there are 19 characters here, and these are pretty much the guys that you're going to see in every single game. So, Noki, I think I don't think criminally underrated, but I think Noki's underrated here. Noki, in my opinion, belongs probably in the 17 spot. I think Noki's better than Paratroopa. I think Noki's better than another character up ahead that I will get to later. But whatever. I like Noki a lot. She's got good chem. She's got a great arm. She's a good fielder. She's got the nice line drive star hit. You know, I say good chem because she has PM chem, which is relevant. But yeah, I don't love this Noki placement, and I think that Noki's gonna be kind of like on the rise here. And you can actually see her average placement was at 17.68. So people like kind of want her a little higher, but on average she was, you know, in this 19th spot. But I think that Noki's on the rise, and I think a lot of people kind of in the community have been thinking so. I know a lot of the top players have been more up on Noki lately, so I think we're going to see some change here. Dixie Kong at 18. This is probably going to go up as well. We've had a lot of top players that have been really liking Dixie Kong. They've really been digging her pitching style. She like the sidearm and stuff like that. And I think that this is kind of the beginning of a Dixie renaissance. I don't think the sidearm's too important, but again, there are a lot of players that have contributed to this list that think so, but I think that on average she's a little lower than she's going to belong. I think that she has room to move up here, and it's really interesting seeing how, you know, you hear a lot of the voices kind of like in the community, like the top players and stuff are boasting Dixie over Diddy, whatever. But now you look at this list and you take the top 25 players tier list, and Dixie actually ends up below Diddy. Now, they're pretty close together. They're not separated by much, but it is interesting to see, and it's going to be interesting to see going forward where they kind of end up, like the trends end up going. Next up is Paratroopa. I think Paratroopa is a very solid character. I kind of compare him to Noki in a lot of ways. They have very similar stats, similar speed. They have the same star hit. Paratroopa has better chemistry, which is nice. I think his fielding's worse, though, even with the better arm, or the same arm, but I think a quicker release, something like that. I think I would at least swap their places on this list, but it's interesting to me that the community has placed Paratroopa so high, because so high, I say, again, 17, but people have been really down on Paratroopa lately, so it's cool to see that, you know, there's still those para believers out there, and they're still, you know, they're still pushing things towards the higher end of the spectrum. Next up, Diddy Kong at 16. I like this placement for Diddy Kong. I think that Dixie's a little better than him, so maybe Dixie at 15, Diddy at 16 is where I would have things, but Diddy Kong is a staple pitcher. Everybody in the community knows it. That's why you're going to see him here. There's not too much more to say about him. I think he's pretty properly rated. Now, these next three, this is an interesting spot because Pianta's actually pretty low in my opinion. I think that Pianta should be as high as 13 on this list. I think that Luigi is the guy who is out of place here. I think that Noki should be moved. I think, honestly, Luigi should be behind Noki on this list, and everyone should be bumped up one, but Noki should get multiple spots up. So, I think that Luigi honestly belongs at 19. He's a good character, but I don't think that he's better than Pianta. He's definitely not better than Pianta. I don't think he's better than Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Noki. I think he might be better than Paratroopa, but I'm surprised to see people have Luigi up this high. And, everyone knows they're the Luigi believers. You know who I'm talking about. I'm looking at you, Big Balla. And, maybe some skewed Luigi picks have brought him up to this higher side of the tier list. But this is a really interesting spot to see Luigi. And I wonder if the trends we're going to see going forward, if people are going to start placing him lower. But this is super interesting to me that he's so high up, because I do not think he's better than Pianta. I don't think he's better than Diddy or Dixie. I don't think he's better than Noki. Noki, again, this placement is crazy to me. So this is that's an interesting one for sure. Yeah, Luigi definitely making some waves there. And then Wario all the way up at number 13. He's kind of getting this resurgence again, because if you remember the Dinger City tier list from a while ago, Wario was really high, and then he kind of trended down a little bit for us, and now he's been climbing his way back up. People like him a lot on Netplay. People like the chemistry combo with Waluigi and Boo, so you can start to hit homers with him. So Wario, I think that he's in a good spot here. I think this is where he belongs. Maybe him and Pianta swap for 13, 14, something like that. But I really like that people have been up on Wario, so this is a really cool thing to see. Now, getting into the top 12 A- tier. I love this positioning here. Mario, Toadsworth, Waluigi. I think Mario's perfectly rated. I think everybody's in agreement on where Mario should be. You see, he averages to 12.28. We got him in the 12 spot. That's pretty much perfect. He's a great character. He's a great defender. He's a great singles hitter. He's not the best at whatever he does, but he's a solid all-around guy. So Mario, perfectly rated here. And I think Toadsworth is a character that has kind of been trending down a little bit for a lot of people, but I still have him in this 11, maybe 12 spot, because Toadsworth's singles bat is so consistent. It's so crazy consistent, guys. Like I'm sure you guys know, but like Toadsworth, even if he is just a single every time, which he's not, because he has the option for that star hit, which is very good still. He still has the line drive star hit. Toadsworth still in this top 11, top 12 spot. I like where we're seeing him. Now, my man, Waluigi, dude. This is what we like to see. We all knew that the Netplay community was up on Waluigi. The Dinger City guys kind of lagged behind, but this is the Netplay tier list, and look at that. Waluigi, top 10 character in this game. That's what we're talking about. Waluigi's got what it takes. That singles bat is disgustingly good. He's an amazing corner baseman. He has chemistry with Magikoopa. He's got chemistry with Wario. It's really, really nice having Waluigi on your team. I love seeing him in the top 10 spot. I'm really glad that people have rated him properly. He got the average score of 11, which was good for the 10 spot on this tier list. So really, really, really cool stuff. And now, the undisputed top 9 of this game. It used to be a top 8, but honestly, we're all comfortable saying a top 9, and you can really tell because Magikoopa's average placement is above 9, 8.72. Magikoopa coming in the 9 spot on this tier list. It's honestly about time. Everybody's known that Magikoopa has been like this top tier threat, but we always kind of had him in the in-between spot between the top 8 and the bottom, the rest of them. But Magikoopa, I think, is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He's in this good spot. This is a really good thing. Magikoopa averaged at 8.72, so he really belongs in that 9 spot. But that means that people were having him above number 9. I think I personally had him at 9, but that's really cool to see. And then King Boo is probably the only character you'd see Madge put over out of this top tier. But King Boo, I think, perfectly rated here. I think everybody's kind of in agreement on how King Boo is. He's a really good defender. He's not as good as Magikoopa, though. He's a good home run hitter, but he's not as good as, Bro or Petey or anything like that. But really solid all-around character. I like King Boo a lot. I think he's perfectly rated here. And I think that a lot of people are probably going to agree on that. So I really like where we placed King Boo on this one. Now, Boo at 7, I believe that's where I had Boo as well. This is a little more controversial because these are the ones where people start to kind of place them in different spots. Because Boo, I think that he's 7th. I think that he's an excellent pitcher. He's probably the best pitcher. He's an amazing hitter. But the thing is, the characters above him are all busted in some way, and Boo's not like he's great. He's a great pitcher and stuff like that, but the other characters, they break the game, I think. And I don't think Boo really does that. So that's why I like him in this spot, and I'm glad to see that everybody's kind of in agreement here. And now we have Birdo at 6. Birdo at 6 I like as well. So Birdo, obviously with slicing, a lot of the top players like to slice. So slicing is when you hit the first or last frame of contact on a star swing. It goes straight up the middle. It's a guaranteed single pretty much. So yeah, really like this placement of Birdo. Obviously Birdo having to be your captain is a little bit like a small, tiny little detriment. But it's because like if you don't have Captain Birdo, she's a little worse. But honestly, Birdo perfectly rated here. Now, this is a surprising one. Yoshi at 5. I actually think that I thought Yoshi was going to end up higher. We have a lot of top players that talk big game about Yoshi. We love Yoshi. You know, he's one of the best characters in the game. People are thinking top 3 Yoshi. He's such an amazing fielder. I think Yoshi's number 4. We've got him at 5 here, which means that people were placing him a little lower than I would have expected. But honestly, like, if you've played against Yoshi, you know this character's absolutely busted. So, really interesting seeing Yoshi at 5, but there's honestly no surprise that, like, the characters we're going to see above him, people love these characters. Bro is honestly, he's the one that I would swap with Yoshi, but Bro being at 4, I mean, we all know what Bro is. Everybody online knows how nasty Bro is. Whether you're a Boomerang Bro guy, a Hammer Bro guy, a Fire Bro guy, who cares? Like, Bro is such an amazing character, so seeing Bro play so high, obviously deserving. I'm only slightly shocked because usually I feel like I see Yoshi over Bro, but this totally makes sense. It's definitely an appropriate placement. Now this one is a bit of a surprise to me, but it's a pretty decisive like victory for the number 2 over the number 3. Donkey Kong coming in at number 3. With an average placement of 3.36, which means we probably had a lot of Donkey Kong 4 placements. We had a lot of Donkey Kong 3s. Probably not a lot of Donkey Kong 2s. So it seems like pretty much everyone has come around on the fact that Petey is better than Donkey Kong, which is just, that's such a new thing to me. But I think I agree with it. Now, a lot of the top players love Petey. I love Petey. You know, people know that Petey's so good. He's the best catcher in the game. But DK, he does so much in the field. He's got so many options at the plate. But I guess with Yoshi stifling DK's offense a little bit, you know, DK starts to fall a little bit down to this 3 spot. And it's really cool to see that, you know, everybody putting out their individual tier list. You're usually seeing Donkey Kong at 2, at least from what I've seen. But now the top players are kind of starting to be like, all right, DK, maybe he's 3, maybe he's 4, maybe Yoshi's 3 over DK, stuff like that. So really cool to see, and this tier list really reflects that DK fell down to this 3 spot. Obviously still an amazing character. You know, he's still going to go in that first round of picks. But, wow, yeah, DK at 3rd, that's crazy. And, yeah, Petey at 2nd, what a, you know, what a cool thing to see. Because Petey, obviously, you know, he's the 2nd best home run hitter in the game after Bowser. He's the best catcher in the game. He really just does so much. And it's cool to finally see Petey kind of climb to that 2nd spot, because we've been talking about it a lot lately, like I just said, with DK over Petey, Petey over DK, stuff like that. And now Petey, with the 2.64 average rating, definitely got a lot of those 2nd place votes. And you know what? He may have even gotten a 1st place vote, because if you take a look here, obviously, Bowser's number 1. No one's surprised about that. But 1.04 means that one single person said that Bowser was number 2 in the game instead of number 1. So that means that they probably put Petey at number 1. I wonder who that is. You know, if you guys know who it is, drop a comment. Let me know who you think that is. But yeah, no question that Bowser's the best character in the game still. His home run hitting ability is unparalleled. You know, it's just like, it's insane. He's getting walks every game. He's still going to be the first pick. He still has to be your captain in the current rules, but this was based off the old rule set. But yeah, no, really cool. This is an awesome list. Really cool to see this list, see how the community can come together and, you know, create something like this through 25 different people. Huge shout out to Little Cokes for putting this together, making this happen, and putting together this nice little graphic, or whoever did put together the graphic if you did it for Cokes. Really, really awesome stuff. I like this a lot. I know I didn't go too in-depth on, like, what I think about the characters individually, because this wasn't my tier list. You know, I didn't create this tier list. I just contributed to it. I was one of the many names that went in on this tier list. But, you know, I would go in more in depth on my own tier list video. But if you're watching this, you most likely know what all the character strengths are. And if you don't, go check out one of my other tier list videos. I got plenty. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this quick reaction to the tier list, let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like, all that good stuff. Let's get this video to 200 likes. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. We'll be back with some more Mario Baseball Classic content coming up soon. This is just a quick video I put together because I saw this list. Really wanted to put it out. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.